Hello! How's it going, chat? Welcome to another stream. It is Monday. What is today? It is Monday, August 24th of 2020. Yeah, how's it going? Hopefully you guys are having a good start of the week. You know, bright and early for an Anthony Rants code stream. Hey!
Let's write some code with a craft non-dessert beer. Blackheart Pig Nose.
Hey, what's up, El Papa Pig? Thank you for resubscribing 3 months in a row and 3 total. Let's write some code with a craft non-dessert beer. Ooh, do I have a non-dessert beer? Let's see. I have some sours. We could do that. We could do that. How about when I go for my break, I'll grab beer. When I run out of water, we'll make it a drinking code stream. Hey, what's up, Art Libitum? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Oh my goodness, we have so many people here today. We've got Solace, who is first. We've got Yoav, who is not first, indeed. Shaz Robot with third. Jam, who says shit almost. Well, welcome. We've also got The Endless River. We've got Kevin's Joberg, who says first? Not first. Of course not first. But welcome back, Kevin's Joberg. We've got Drunk Time Lord, who says nop. Hey, what's up, Matrix 17 and El Papa Pig again? Drunk Time Lord says, I write garbage. I don't know about y'all, because El Papa Pig said fellow Anthonyers writing code. It's true. I mean, when I write code. Sometimes it's garbage too. Shazarot says, I exclusively write trash. Thank you very much. Silas says, I write regexes that fail my matches. Well, sometimes you want a regex that will always fail. I'm pretty sure there's a thing in pre-commit where there's a regex that intentionally always fails. Workspace, pre-commit, git grep. This guy. Yes. The exclude always defaults to, well, I guess technically this matches the empty string. So it should really be caret space dollar, or space caret, or something like that. I don't know, but anyway. Hey, what's up, Michaela? Thank you for the host. Welcome. We've also got Beldathis, who says, hello, Tony-chan. How's it going, Beldathis? Welcome back. Michaela says, hi, Antonio. I have you muted because I'm doing my homework because school started today, but I'm here to lurk and get more babi points. Well, good to hear that you're back at school and back working on programming stuff, Michaela. It's good to see you. Drunk Time Lord says, wait, this dude made Flake 8. Can you tell me how I can get Python linting to work well in VS Code? So, I didn't create Flake 8, however, I am the current maintainer. I took over 3 years ago now? 3 years? Somewhere around there? Either 2017 or 2018, I don't remember exactly. But I've been maintaining it for the last couple of years. I also maintain a bunch of the components that work in there. But I actually don't use VS Code, so I don't know so much how to make that work all that well. But yeah. Solus says, I'm pretty sure there's a Flake 8 plugin. Yeah, I think the Python tools has it built in. You can just turn it on with a little check mark. It has like Flake 8 and Pylint, and you know, I don't like Pylint, or I don't use Pylint, so it's not that I don't like Pylint. Pylint's great. It's just I don't use it because it has some problems with me. But hey, what's up, 85 Filter? Hello. Solus says, right, I don't want a regex that fails in this case. Oh, I see. I see. Yoav says $caret is non-matching regex. Nope, that'll match the empty string as well. Input re reg equals re.compile $. So $caret will also only match the empty string, I think. Yep, because these are zero width. What are they called? Anchors. And so the order doesn't matter here. What I wanted for a non-matching regex is something like this. Compile. But even this can match in some cases, I think. Actually, no, I don't think this can match anything. But anyway. Hey, what's up, Quan Amarante? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. Fortunately, in pre-commit's case, you could never have a file name that is the empty string, so this is still valid as a zero width matcher here, which is great. Drunk Time Lord says, the problem I have is that autosave is annoying with Python, and at least with Pylint, the lints don't update until I save the file. That's weird. Well, I don't use VS Code, so I don't actually know too much about that. Oh, my volume is messed up. Hey, what's up? Octavio Dantas, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. Hey, what's up, KNGL? Hello, hello. And Hermit1, how's it going? Welcome back. Welcome back. Yob says, Anthony, I have a scale question. Let's say I have a Docker container which is doing some work and I want to scale it. What do I need to do? I need a load balancer. I'm pretty new in the scale stuff. So usually if you're doing a containerized workflow, you'll hopefully be using with you'll be using it with some sort of container management system. So something like, Kubernetes or Mesos or something. And so you would basically just adjust your replicas in those. If you're not using Kubernetes or Mesos or whatever, you would probably introduce, like you said, a load balancer into the situation, and depending on whatever your scaling primitive is, scale that. So one example would be like what I'm going to be doing with pre-commit.ci, which is to run a container on an auto-scaling group's EC2 instance, and then scale that auto-scaling group to have like more machines. And it doesn't use a load balancer because the requests aren't actually going to that box. It's reading from a queue. But yeah. Hey, what's up, bitchin'? Hello, hello. Welcome back. Nico says, how much RAM does your VM have and how much does your computer have? I addressed this in my YouTube video. Which video is that? Focal. Yeah, in this video I go over that. I believe Shad's Robot has the right dimensions though. It might be 8 and 64 though. Machine settings, system. Yeah, it's 8 and 64. But I could probably get away with 16 and be better. Shazerwit says, one thing I'm confused about on your recent Git check-in video, why would you check in a folder when you're not going to want to check in any files in it? Maybe I'm misunderstanding the purpose of checking in the folder. I did talk about it a little bit at the beginning of the video about why you would do that, but I'll show you an example of where I'm doing that. So in this project for pre-commit.ci, I have this local folder which has, the same pattern that I showed in the video where I'm ignoring the local folder, but I have it checked in via getignore. And I have a bunch of things that write into that directory. So if you look inside local, you'll see that, I have my local credentials, I have all of my data stores for my local implementation of pre-commit.ci, and I have the local store, which represents S3. And so I'm basically using this as like, I know I'm going to put things in here, but I don't want to like have to completely recreate this over and over and over. That's why that's like that. Yob says, so I need a queue? No, you don't need a queue. My setup just uses a queue because I am doing background processing. I'm not doing like web processing. Greg he says, check out Kubernetes. So the thing about Kubernetes is it's actually K8s, not just K8, because K8 would just be Kubernetes. But the product is called Kubernetes. But anyway, pedantic. Bitches says, does anyone have a vertical monitor? I'm thinking of getting one for code. I have a vertical monitor. Actually, I have 2 vertical monitors. This is my setup. But I don't do any programming on them. I mostly use them as like ancillary screens for other stuff. But I don't know. They're kind of nice. It's basically just a normal monitor, but flipped vertically. But I don't know. The thing about like vertical screens for me is that I don't like to like crane my neck up to look at the top of them. Ooh, that neck crack there. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Polar Junction? Hello, hello. Oh man, I forgot to update set today. Set today, working on container user isolation in. Gotta put my emote in, pre-commit.ci, and maybe some other web views for results. See if we get to that, but I'm not even sure. Kevin Schoberg typed clear into Twitch chat. Yo, I do that all the time. One thing that you can do that's better than clear, or at least slightly easier to type, is Control L. That way, if you type it into Twitch chat, it doesn't really do anything. It just goes to like the address bar or whatever. So, little teeny pro tip there. It doesn't actually clear the screen though. It just puts a bunch of new lines. So, It's not quite the same as clear, but it's pretty close. Oh, Kevin Sturberg said, damn it, you got to me. You said it before I read your message, and yes, I do type clear even though I know about Control L. Yeah, sorry, I didn't read your message. Drunk Time Lord says, I type CLS because I also use Windows. Oh, does CLS work on here? You probably have like alias CLS equals clear or something like that. I see. That would work. But it says, same, it's CLS for me. Nice. Zilla says, fix my regex, just used a new pattern from the internet. Oh no. Copying and pasting regex from the internet. Fidget says, I hate using dir though, ls for the win. Dir is ugly AF. Yeah, I mean, on Windows, I have put the POSIX commands onto my path, so I just use the POSIX commands. But, what are these files? intuser.uuid.tmcontainer.regtransms. No idea what that is. Hey, what's up, Foreign with a 9? Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Drunk Time says it works on Windows since 2004. Oh, I see. Cool. Cool. Scylla says, I had to use re.compile and not have the slashes. Yeah, slashes are for JavaScript. There's no slashes in regexes in Python. Shazarbat says Windows Y. It's true, it's true. JS says, hey buddy, how's you? I'm doing well, I'm doing well. I got up early this morning and then I got nothing done. And the reason I got nothing done is I was playing some Minecraft and I was running along a strip mine that I thought was my strip mine, but it apparently was not my strip mine because it just went straight into a lava pit in the middle of it, and so I lost all my stuff, and so I started, you know, rebuilding my inventory from losing all of my really well enchanted gear. But anyway, that was my morning. I was going to exercise and then I didn't do that, so anyway, we're streaming now, so it's good enough. Let's see. Now you can post users to a non-existent database. Nice. 25th birthday of Windows 95. I bet people are still running it too, which is sad. Drunk Time Lord says, ever since WSL2 and package managers, I've been using Windows. It's brainless to set up and maintain. Nice. Greg Hehe says, have you ever thought about data packaging things like intake project by continuum or frictionless data? Do you have any thoughts on that? I don't know what either of those things are. So I have no idea, Greg. If you could elaborate on what those are, maybe I'll have opinions. Edrin says, that sucks, sorry, it is fine. That's just the way Minecraft goes. You lose your shit sometimes. You fall into lava, that's the game, man. Bitch, it says, also backslashes and file paths for Windows. Who thought that was a good idea? Oh yeah, that drives me up the wall. Fortunately, it mostly works for forward slashes. There are some cases where you treat paths as UNC paths, or you turn off the NT normalization and then forward slashes don't work, but for the most part forward slashes will work. And actually pre-commit always sends forward slashes to underlying tools so that poorly written bash scripts work better because a lot of people don't quote their arguments properly, and so yeah, there's a whole set of mess there. But anyway, I did a couple of things since last stream. So last stream we released the latest version, or released a new version of pre-commit, and it turns out there was a bug in the release, which was a very interesting bug. Let me show you that real quickly. So Jab from the Flask project actually reported this issue, and the problem was where's the output? Where'd the output go? Dang it. I bet they rebased, so it's gone now. Shit. Well, never mind. But anyway, what was happening was pre-commit was rebuilding an environment due to a failed cache, and then was immediately saying that that environment was unhealthy when it actually was healthy. And the reason for that was a overzealous cache. So let me show you what happens here. We'll just view the file. So there's this version info function, and this is supposed to retrieve the version info of the pre-commit environment and the system and make sure that those are the same value, and if they're not the same value, then it's considered an old stale environment. Hey, what's up, Marco Dev? Thank you for the host. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, if they don't match up, it's supposed to invalidate them. And so it was happening down in this healthy check here. Healthy. What was happening in this healthy check before I fixed it, this is now using the uncached version here, but it was retrieving the cache of this value, saying it was unhealthy, then rebuilding the environment at the same exact path, and so since the same path was here, it would hit the cache, and so it would retrieve the old value and say it was unhealthy still. So, simple fix by adding a, bypassing the cache in this lookup here. I still want the cache here because this can be pretty slow. But fixed that, and I wrote a test for it. The test was actually really difficult to write, but I eventually got one that I was happy with. Hey, what's up, Drunk by Default? Thank you for the follow. Drunk by Default. That's such a good name. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna default to Drunk. That seems good. Hey, what's up, Nico Fuss? Thank you as well for the follow. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, the test, basically I set up a Python environment. I replaced the Python exe with a fake script that always prints 1, 2, 3, which should make the virtual env unhealthy. Then I put the original executable back, and it should become healthy again. And the problem was like this was returning false before because it never became healthy again. But now it returns true, so that got fixed. But that broke a couple people. The other thing is I realized that I should not be using os.rename on Windows because it doesn't work. It doesn't work how I expect it to. OS rename on POSIX. This is how I expect it to work. Touch t2 Python import. Oops, Python 3 import os.rename t2 to t. So what it should do is it should get rid of the t file and replace the t file with the contents of t2, and you'll see that it does. So this works great on POSIX, but on Windows, touch t2 Python 3. Nope, that's gonna open the Windows store. God damn it. Python import os.rename t2 to t. On Windows, you get this file exists error. So it works very differently than POSIX. You cannot create a file when that file already exists. Fortunately, there's os.replace, which works like the POSIX one does. I don't know why these are separate on POSIX. Like, you would think Python would normalize this and just make rename an alias to replace. But anyway, I switched from rename to replace and pre-commit. No one had actually reported a bug with this, but there was a potential race condition in these 3 places. In fact, this comment was completely wrong on Windows. But yeah, there was a race in these 3 places, but should be fixed now. I don't think anyone ever hit it, or if they did, they just didn't bother reporting it. Yes, yeah. Drunk Time Lord says, the only issues that are still there with Windows are cross-platform libraries that rely on folders like var or attempt to exist. There's a lot more issues than that, but yeah, that's one of them. Greg says, basically they use conda install, but instead of installing a Python library, you get data on your computer in a container like a pandas data frame. Oh, interesting. I've not heard of anything like that. That seems kind of nifty. I don't really work with data all that much, so I don't really have much opinion there, but but maybe if I worked on data, I would think about that as well. Kevin Joberg says, I'm still learning C by doing the exercises in the K and King book. The latest exercise was to transform a 2-digit number to text. 43 should become 40-3. Interesting. I'm not happy with my current solution, but I can't think of a way to improve it. How would I even do that? I think you would probably special case the single-digit numbers and the teens. And then... How big of a number are you allowed to do? Or like what's the top number there? So I'd probably split it out into functions for like actually how would that work? I'm trying to think about how I would approach that. I would probably do it somewhat recursively, because you'd have like 1192 or 1111, and handle things piecewise, I think. Yeah, that's kind of tricky. Let's see what your solution currently looks like. You're only allowed to use if switch variables of type int and bool and scanf and printf. Okay, so you have to use scanf here. Okay. This seems reasonable. This is probably how I would do this, or something like this. Although next you have to handle 100 and 1,000 and million. And at that point you probably want to do something recursively. Oh, you can't use loops. Oh, you can't use loops, can you? With loops this would be a little bit easier. Loops, brother. But you can probably use recursion, maybe. Although, does that count as declaring something that's not an int or a bool? Because that would be a function taking something. Oh, you can't do char star. Yeah, so I guess you have to do it like this. Huh. Hey, what's up, Dun? Who says, I'm trying to make a Dyson link app for the Mac for my Dyson devices. Dyson also makes an app for iOS. Any thoughts on how to do this? Dyson, like, vacuum cleaners? What's Dyson? Dyson link. Huh. Well, you would probably have to reverse engineer their protocol unless their protocol is open. Would be my guess. Fancy. Yeah, I don't really know how you do that unless they have published their protocol somewhere, or they have like an SDK. You could probably reverse engineer it, but that sounds like a pain in the butt. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Switch hell, yeah. Drunk Time Lord says, I usually saw these thinking how I do it. Do this myself, so I need to special case things up to 20 and then stuff up to 100. And then those would each be updates to the code. Yeah, that makes sense. Drunk Time Lord says you can disable the MS door opening. If you want, I can dump the instructions here. Yeah, sure. Send a link. That would be helpful. Oh, is it only a 2-digit number? Oh, that makes it a little bit easier, right? Did I not read that from your requirements? Oh, it has to be. It's a 2-digit number. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's how I would do it then. That seems fine. Hey, what's up, outdated version? Hello, hello. Imagine spending $500 on a fan, right? Like air conditioners are like 200 and it's fanned and it cools. Yeah, that's true. I think my air conditioner is actually controllable over the internet too. I have turned off the Wi-Fi features on it though because I don't really want someone to be able to control my air conditioner because that seems fucking insane. But yeah, and like, yeah, I don't know why you would want that, but anyway, that's what I did last time. The plans for today are to try and do some stuff with the container isolation of pre-commit.ci. So right now, someone that writes a particularly nefarious hook could access my AWS account via pre-commit.ci, and so I already know how I want to do this. I just haven't done it yet. The plan is to use sudo -u pcuser podman run something like this. Except it's called PC runner, I think. And type in my bad password. And use this separate user to run my containers. We're not doing that yet, so I gotta do some stuff to figure that out, which is going to be kind of tricky there. Chancellor says, listen, not everything has to be IoT. It really doesn't. It's true. Chat controls air conditioning. I don't think that would be a good idea. That seems like a terrible idea. But I could do that without exposing it to the internet. I could do that. Well, actually, I don't know if I can isolate it or not. But I have another IoT device that I'm really not happy about, which is my immersion circulator. I mean, I love the device. I just don't like that I have to connect it to the internet to use it. There's something just like a little bit unsettling with having an unmanaged device on my home network that some third party can control over the tubes. But yeah. Master Tech says set temp 70F. Yeah. It is currently set to 70F, so it's correct. Muhammad Hajar says, what is life like after an ergonomic keyboard? Honestly, I had to learn a little bit to use this keyboard, and I don't really struggle with keyboard ergonomics, so for me it wasn't that much of a change. I really need to make a video where I just talk about this keyboard, because I feel like I answer the same question every single stream. Actually, you know what? Well, FAQ ergonomic Kinesis keyboard. There we go. Oh, that's not how that works. Video. I know how to use my own commands. Kinesis keyboard. There we go. The MOTD is still set to MOTD. People have not set the MOTD in a while. NoSQL Know-How says, I want an IoT air conditioner in my shop. I do not want it on all the time, but an hour before I go there, I want it to kick on and cool the place. Yeah, that actually sounds like a good idea. But I think there's like a balance between an Internet of Things thing and like running a server yourself and like managing the security on that. Because like I trust my code more than I trust some random hardware provider, I think. And so I would prefer to be able to control that instead of someone else, maybe. Edrin says, but what if it gets so hot that you can't even get up off the floor due to the heat exhaustion, and the only way to save yourself and your cats is to use the Wi-Fi app on your phone to turn on the AC? Yeah. Drunk Timeline says, Windows settings, apps and features, somewhere around there should be a link called execution failure, or aliases. Settings. Apps and features. Apps and features. Somewhere around there. App execution aliases. Here we go. Goodbye. What are these ones? I don't know what these possibly are. I don't use the Xbox game bar. I'm gonna leave iTunes shit alone. Maybe they have their things. Turn that one off too. Sure. Cool. Thank you for that, Drunk Time Lord. Appreciate it. Memphis says, we can see your root password while you're typing because of the camera you have on the keyboard. Yes, so the password here is intentionally bad password. Bad password. And it's not my root password, it's the password to my virtual machine, and I don't care that you guys know it. So that one I've intentionally allowed chat to know exactly what that password is. So look, it's bad password. You know my password now. No, the password. But yeah, I have actually typed other more important passwords on stream, and so I've fixed all that for the most part. So now I'm using a password manager. But hey, what's up, MNTO2? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. Oh, and Juicebox Hero is here. How's it going, Juice? Hello. Juice says, chat, you need to know what Anthony did to the mac and cheese I made him last night. It was fucking delicious, okay? It was fucking delicious. Why are you giving me shit about this? Master Tech says wrong password. ABH4 says, oh, so the root password is good password. No, it's bad password. Solus says sriracha makes sense. It's true. It did have sriracha in it. Solus says, but peanut butter does not make sense. Come on, man. What's wrong with sriracha and peanut butter? Oh, Juice actually already said that already. He added a chunk of peanut butter and sriracha to it. Yeah, it was fucking delicious. Try it. Try it. Just try it. It has to be the shitty box mac and cheese, though. Hey, what's up, Draculente? Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Can you at least change it to bad password with @ in it? NoSQL Noha says both sriracha and peanut butter make sense to me. Peanut butter noodles are great. See? See? Mr. Tech says putting ketchup on mac and cheese. I didn't do that. I don't like ketchup. It's good though. Try it. Just fucking try it. Trust me, it's good. Hey, what's up, Alexa? Hello, hello. Welcome back. Good to see you. How high were you? Not at all. Shazarot says I'll fucking try it, but I'll hate it all the way through. Just trust me. And if you have crunchy peanut butter, it's better. I didn't have crunchy peanut butter, so I just went with ye old creamy. But that sounds like peak hangover meal. It was good. G says I feel like I threatened to tell chat more stuff last night, but I don't remember what. Yeah, we're not going to talk about the other things you were going to threaten to tell chat. Crunchy, absolutely disgusting. Well, peanut butter and sriracha sandwich actually delicious. You have that spot on, Red Scratcher. Peanut butter and sriracha sandwich is actually delicious. I'm sure everyone needs more juicy life details. Yeah. Edrin says, "Dang, I'm now gonna go eat a PB&J now." So good, so good, so good. Okay, but anyway. I'm planning to isolate this. I already have all of the code that does the proper isolation stuff set up in Paker through IP tables stuff, Puppet modules, runner files, IP tables, rules v4. Yeah. So I've already set up special IP tables rules for this user ID, which is the PC runner user ID, and I'm basically blocking all of these IP ranges. Oh, one more, and sending them to a separate IP tables chain where I reject the packets. I don't remember whether you're supposed to use reject or drop. Reject or drop in IP tables. Is it better to reject or drop in IP tables? Here we go. Contrary to popular belief, drop does not give better security than reject. It inconveniences legitimate users, and it's effectively no protection for malicious ones. This post explains the reasoning in details. Common reason for using drop rather than reject is to avoid giving away information about which ports are open. However, discarding packets gives away exactly as much information as rejection. With reject, you do your scan and categorize the results into connection established and connection rejected. With drop, you categorize into established and timed out. Yeah, this makes sense. The most trivial scanner will use the operating system connect call and wait until one connection attempt is completed before starting on the next. This type of scanner will be slowed down considerably by dropping packets. However, if the attack sets a time limit of 5 seconds per connection attempt, it's possible to scan every reserve port on a machine in just 1.5 hours. I mean, you can also parallelize the scan too, so... yeah, okay, so it's okay to use reject. Cool. Cool. Juice says, did I ever tell Chad about the time Anthony waterboarded me? It wasn't exactly like that. Hey, what's up, JJMC? Says, never done peanut butter in my mac and cheese, but a peanut butter sandwich with mac and cheese is yummy. See? That sounds good. NoSQL says, I feel like there's an expose here that would write itself. NoSQL Noah says, no one needs to hear about your waterboarding kink. Yop says, what is this IP table? So IP tables is a way to manage the TCP stack on Linux, maybe on other machines as well. But it basically allows you to filter and do some traffic shaping kind of deals. I know everyone hates the word traffic shaping, but this is actually shaping of IP packets. In this case, what I'm doing is I'm blocking access to all of the what are they called? Are they called Martians? Wiki. Actually, I have the link in the other script. Puppet create IP tables rules. Maybe I don't have the link here. God damn it. Wikipedia Martian packet. Is it bogon filtering? Is this the thing? There's a table on one of these things. Christmas tree packet? What is a Christmas tree packet? Oh, I see. Huh. Didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, but anyway, there's a table of these on Wikipedia somewhere, but these are all of the reserved IP ranges. And I'm currently whitelisting 127. I need to fix this at some point, but this allows me to block any requests internal to my VPC, because I don't want external untrusted code to scan my internal services. But yeah. ImageFD says, "Hey Anthony, how do I parallelize file read which takes long in Python? Do you mean like across a bunch of files or in a single file? Because I don't know. I mean, parallelizing file read in a single file is going to be slow no matter what you do, especially, well, I guess it could be fast on SSDs. Maybe? Where you can do random access, but on spinning media you have essentially no choice. But if most of your stuff is on I/O, you can parallelize stuff with threads, and you know, split out the stuff there. 200,000 files, and each file is 120 lines. Yeah, you would the modules that I usually suggest for that are concurrent futures, Python 3 concurrent futures, or multiprocessing pool. But concurrent futures is kind of the newer interface to this. If you need Python 2 support, which, God, I hope you don't need it, there's multiprocessing pool, thread pool. Where's the thread pool? Maybe the thread pool is undocumented. But there is a thread pool. There it is, multiprocessing.pool.threadpool. So if you need Python 2 support, you can use this as well. Shazarot says, "Gotta go do physics labs. I might be back later. Have a good day, everyone." Juice says, "People don't hate the words traffic shaping. You just hate that word." Okay, maybe it's just me then. That would be fair. Trollwood says, "Martians." Yes, that's the word that they use to refer to this. Yov says, "Are you using IP tables for pre-commit.ci or for the security of your VM? I'm not following." It's for both. But it's particularly for the security of the VMs that are running in AWS. So I can show you what the problem is here. Let me see if I have, hopefully I have an instance running. EC2. Running instances, perfect, we have one running. Let me copy this. Ubuntu at this. AWS metadata service IP. It's 169 something or another. 16. Oh, I closed the wrong tab. So what is the IP address? There it is. 169, there we go. So anything can request this IP address, and it allows you to like access internal information about the instance, and it also allows you to assume roles. So I think through IM, yeah, if I do this, oh, that gives me the role. But anyway, the way IM assumption works is it goes through this metadata URL, which would allow anyone that's running code on this box to use any of the services that this box is allowed to use. And I don't want that. I don't want people to be able to write to Dynamo or you know, read S3 or there's stuff like that. Juice says meetings. All right, well, I'll see you when you're back. OXFA Dead says IP tables in AWS. Why not use security groups? So the thing is, some of the processes on this box need to be able to access AWS resources, but some of them I don't want them to access AWS resources. So I need to be able to run this this worker thing, and this worker accesses an SQSQ. Oops, I didn't mean to resize that. A queue that is in SQS to not be confusing and ambiguous. And there are other processes which are going to run untrusted code. So I basically need to be able to descend from trusted code into untrusted code and manage things that way. And it's possible I can use security groups, but I just don't. I don't know how. Serves for individual processes in AWS. Yeah, this is for individual VPC stuff. And it looks like you can only do on per instance layers. But yeah, so I mean, and the other thing about the IP table setup is this is generic to any cloud and it's not AWS specific. So if I were to port this to some other cloud, I could do essentially the same approach and have it work. So that's why I'm doing that. I don't know if it's the right thing, but it's what I'm gonna do, at least for the first version. MJ1337 says, hello. Have you turned on instance metadata v2? They fixed that vulnerability with the new version. I think you need to enable it. Instance metadata v2. What changed in there that made it not vulnerable? Oh, a session-oriented method. Yeah, so with this you put a secret on the box and then you access it via the secret. Create a session token that defines the session duration, which may be a minimum of 1 second and maximum of 6 hours. During the session, use the same session token. Yeah, so this would fix that. However, it doesn't prevent like service to service calls. So I still want this in place anyway. Also, you can imagine an escalation where something finds the token in the environment, and like this will make it literally impossible to escalate to that, which is good. I guess I would need to break root to do that, so maybe that's not an issue. I don't know. I know this already works, so I just need to adjust my software to start using this. I mostly built the IP table stuff and then was like, oh, I'll write the actual code for this later. And so we're going to try and write the code for that today. Hey, what's up, Adrian? Hello. Yob says, gotta go. See you on Wednesday if the weather will allow it. Yeah, so you can't really tell from this room because I have all the lights set up, but it's real bad in the Bay Area right now with all of the fire stuff. The air quality is pretty bad. Let's see if we can actually get to the thing here. But yeah, it's basically red here. Let's see what the map says. But the air quality is really bad. It's somehow like acceptably okay in my room as long as I have like the air conditioner blowing, but yeah, the smoke from the fires is pretty bad. It was red yesterday here, and it was, you know, I could barely see like things that, well, I don't want to give away too much about where I live, but I couldn't see things that I could usually see outside my window. So it was yeah, California is a little bit on fire right now, which is actually impacting air quality as far like several states over, which is fucking wild to me. But yeah, there's some spots that are worse than others, but it's pretty bad right now. Hey, what's up, Drunk by Default? Who says, "Vote yeah, future man, vote yeah." I guess. Yeah, my place is all right. I guess the location is nice. But anyway, so I think what I need to do is I need to set up several IP tables rules that allow, or not IP tables rules, pseudo rules that allow me to become the, or run the podman command as the PC user without being able to, without needing to sudo there. So I'm gonna look up. I've not worked with sudoers rules. Rules allow user to run command as another user without password. A1. Oh man, I don't know how to say your name. I remember when you followed last stream, and I was like, A-Taste? How do you want me to say your name, by the way? Says, do you have any window tiling manager for GNOME? The window manager that I use is called the Anthony Window Manager, where I manually arrange windows using my mouse. I have tried i3M. I didn't really like it, so I don't use it. Alia acta est is okay. Alia acta test. Alia acta est. Oh man. That's gonna be hard for me to remember anyway. But I'll try and do that. It needs a bit of configuration, but once you do, you do that. What is -s? Man sudo -s. With a shell. I don't need a shell. So it says user 1 is allowed to do what? Can somebody explain what this does to me? Someone is suggesting to SSH? That's pretty tricky. This is a good secure solution for when general case of password-free login to any account on any host. But I'd say it's probably overkill when both accounts are on the same host and belong to the same user. Yeah. Maybe if I do man sudo. Edit the sudoers file. Can I do this instead? Okay, cool. Can someone just explain the format? I don't know what's going on here. This is too complicated. I just want to know what this is doing. Okay, but we're gonna... Is there a nano sudo? vsudo. Is this gonna open VI? Bad password. Oops. Bad password. It opened nano. Okay. I don't know what this is. User privilege specification. Root can probably do all for all things. That would make sense. Members of the admin group may gain root privileges. I don't know what the syntax means at all. Include dir etc sudoers.d. Okay, that sounds good. What does this readme say? Sudo cat etc sudoers.d / readme. That was, yes, that was vi sudo. That's a Debian, whatever. The default sudoers can include this. That do not end in tilde or contain a dot character. I love this. This is great. Okay, so I think this allows me to manage a file in that directory and do stuff that way. Offband says you technically just add the user to the wheel group, so I don't want them to be able to run everything as root. I just want them to be able to change to this specific user. Denny111 says, I don't think you need to modify that file manually, you'll break stuff. Yes, I'm not modifying it manually. I was using visudo. vi sudo, which is the editor thing. It did open up Nano, probably because wait, I don't actually know why I would pick Nano first. It's weird. But I think what I want is a command that looks like this, but instead of bin bash, I want podman. I believe it will respect your editor variable, but my editor is set to babi. So it probably tried to find babi and then fell back to nano. Would be my guess. Probably also looks at visual, but I think I also have that set to babi. So I don't know what it did there, JB Pratt. Anyone says you can specify a specific command for a user to execute as the root. Yeah. Let me try this. Etsy suitors.d/. Actually, we'll do this through Puppet. Not personal Puppet. pre-commit.ci packer. And I know that there's something I need to comment out here, otherwise it does some weird stuff to my machine. We need to comment this guy out. This line here. And I think I need to comment out that stuff here, because we don't actually have an Ubuntu user. So this will error. Oh, I really need to make a command that comments stuff out. Hey, what's up, Firemonkey T? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Actually, fuck it. We haven't worked on my text editor in a while. Let's add a command that does that. Where's master-b comment? Test/features. Comment test. I don't remember how the tests work. Let's look at some other example feature. I don't know. Tab, indent test? Yeah, that'll be similar. From testing.runner import and exit def test comment some code run. Actually, we'll just open up 10 lines. Each dot press, is it S down? And we want some command test. So we're gonna command mode. Trigger command mode. Trigger command mode. H.press comment. Press and enter. H.await text. Line 1. Line 2. I think that's what we want. Let's see what that does. It crashes. Right, this needs to be stir 10 lines. Immediately failed. That's good. Automan says, what if you create a new user and provide what they need access to? Alternatively, use app armor. I have created a new user. That's already what I'm doing. I just need one user to access that other user. Also, it's supposed to be line 0, it looks like. Line 0 to line 1. Drink by default says I3 is a learning curve. Get ready to spend 3 hours for a basic tutorial on YouTube. Yeah, I had mostly gotten through the basics. I just don't like tiling managers. I use a mouse. So looks like a good use case of app armor. Is a Linux kernel security module that allows the system administrator to restrict programs' capabilities with per program profiles. Yeah, I'm basically doing this, but with IP tables. And a user that doesn't really have access to anything else. But I kind of already have this. But yeah, I will look into app armor for doing further hardening there. Jaybird says command for comments and for multiple line parameters. Oh yeah, we should do the parameter one too. Anyone says how to quickly give users sudo. So I don't want them to have full sudo. In fact, I very much don't want them to have full sudo. I don't want everyone to be able to do this. I think what I have in this article here is exactly what I want. I think this rule is what I want. Hey, what's up, rollers? Hello, hello. Welcome back. Good to see you. Root guy says they call me Unit Test Boy 69 Assert True. That's an interesting. Is that where you're saying that I am? I'm Unit Test Boy 69 Assert True. Just for this specific command. Yeah, I don't need them to run that other command as root though. That's the thing. I need one user to assume a different user and then run a command as that user. It's not this user using a root command or this user using a root command. It's this user using another command as another user, but non-privileged. Root guy says, "No me, I'm running too many unit tests. It's all I've done today." Nice. Well, I mean, technically, this is the only lines of code I've written today, so that's something. Okay, invalid command comment. Okay, that's a good start. How does this work? Is it in file? Command. Is it in screen? Yeah, it looks like we're in screen here. Looks like we add another command here. Response.starts with comment or comment space. Let's see, underscore comment equals response dot partition space. Comment equals comment or this. So we'll default it to this. We need to add a test for that as well. Test comment some code with alternate comment character, run 10 lines. Hey, what's up, Arshleys? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We'll have them comment with // I'll probably make some way to default this based on language or something. Jimmer says, "Did you get a beer yet?" No, I will go finish this water and grab a beer. I will be right back, chat. With more beer. I'll see you in a sec. I will be right back. I love that KNGO. Anyway, we've got beer now, Jam. It is the framboise, the raspberry lambic. So that's what I'm drinking. This is the only non-dessert beer. I guess I have Blue Moon, but that's not fancy enough for stream, right? But anyway, cheers to you guys, chat. It's gonna be a good stream now. But anyway, so it says I gotta head out. Well, thanks for stopping by. Danderson has gifted a sub. It's good because this shirt was a little bit too tight. But thank you for the gift sub, Danderson, and welcome Alexandru to Subdom. It's not beer, it's apple juice. Well, this is some weird apple juice. But I've not tasted any apple juice that tastes like this, so. But El Papa Big says, I heard beer. It's true. KNGL says, Belgian beer, good choice. I agree. Hey, what's up? Venatio Decorus, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Perfect pour, cheers, yeah. Danderson says, I mean, you looked like you needed a breather there. Yeah, maybe. Okay. What were we doing? We're writing a comment command for Babi. We'll probably also make a keyboard shortcut for this. I haven't figured out what keyboard shortcut I want to do, though. But we'll at least have a command, so that'll be good. For punts, we'll probably have to do an uncomment as well. Maybe we'll just make it toggle the comment. How's this gonna work? How do things usually work? Danderson says, I'm a big fan of command plus slash. The problem is control slash is the same as control underscore for some reason. Oops. So I can't use control slash. I could use alt slash. That's an option. Hey, Box of Ninjas is continuing the gift sub they got from Chico Codes. Well, thank you for that, Box of Ninjas. Appreciate that. I don't know why there's no notification thingy. Streamlabs, why you know? But thank you for that. Appreciate it. Please do toggle. Should this command just do toggling? What if it's partially commented already? I guess I could just base it on the first line and do it that way. Yeah, we'll just base it on the first line. I think we're gonna use alt slash because we can't do control slash. Actually, does that work on Windows? Command Babi VM scripts Babi key debug. Does alt slash work? No, it doesn't. Neither of these work on Windows. No. That's annoying. Do any of these work? Alt quote works. Oh, that's annoying. Use \cc like in Vim. I'm already using control \/ as a key. I could use alt \/ though. I think we're gonna use alts either of the slashes. That seems like a thing. Drink by default says, is that a stout? No, this is it's a sour. It is a lambic sour. It's very sour. King Cruz says, do you know a beginner guide for people trying to learn Python? I do have a video about this, my suggestion and where to go from there. Let me link that in one sec. Hey, what's up, Fluffy Bunny? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Oh, that reminds me of something. I thought of another project that we can do at some point that's actually related to Twitch, which would be really cool. I should put this in my list so I just don't forget about it. Wiki OS to do. So occasionally we get follow botted, and it turns out I've found a way to remove follow bots from the channel so that you can unfollow bot something. The problem is it needs to deal with the Twitch API and do a bunch of annoying requests there. But what you can do is you can ban users that follow bot you. And so you basically loop through, like, assuming the follow bots all follow a specific username pattern, you can just find all of the follows within a particular period and just like go through and ban every user. Or sorry, block every user. And that'll remove them from followers. And so you can block them and unblock them in case they're like real users and want to actually follow. But I thought about that, and it might be something we build at some point. Oh yeah, beginner guide. That's what I was gonna show you. Hey, what's up, King Cruz? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Getting started with programming. Yeah, so this is my advice for getting started with programming in general, and like kind of how I went about learning way back in the day when I learned basically with PHP. But yeah, anyway. Check out that video. My basic advice is like learn the syntax and then start building projects for yourself because you'll be motivated to learn the necessary bits to build those projects. But I'll let you check that out. Okay, so if we what? I just thought about an interesting problem with this code here. In that if you open a file, actually maybe this is fine. If you open if you set tab size, so tab size 2, and then you open, I don't know, readme.md. Oh wait, it is still 2. File changed on disk. What the fuck happened there? Oh. Sorry, it was supposed to open readme.md, and now tab sizes are set. So there's like a micro bug there, but whatever. I don't really use that command all that much. So, Flippy Bunny says, "What is that keyboard?" This is the Kinesis Freestyle Pro. If you do bang keyboard, you can check that out. Roller says, "Can you share the GitHub list?" Yes, I think if you do bang explains, it should show up there. Is it explain? I should make an alias. We have aliases. Oh, this, I can already tell this is going to be an ADHD stream. Aliases. Explains. No, it goes like this, right? Explains. Does explains work now? Sick. Okay, yeah, but you can get the link from there, Rollers. And here's the keyboard stuff for you. Fluffy bunny keyboard. Bytosh says, "What is the best way to implement an LRU cache in Python? I'm not talking about functools.LRU cache decorator. For example, how can you make an object that can make lookups for the last 200 recent values?" Are you implementing your own LRU, or are you? I mean, because you could abuse the LRU cache as an object. Like you could do, you know, some class which has something like this. No, not in it. Get item. X size equals. Oh, but this is per. You would want it per object. Yeah. So I've done this before. How did I do it before? Return x squared or something. If we do this in a loop here, that should print Yeah, it should only print 1 through 9 because we did that, but if we do... Actually... In reversed... Tuple... Well, actually, maybe we can do reversed range. 20? Should miss some. Yeah, so this misses caches the whole time because it's LRU. So this is how I would cheat. I assume you guys don't want to cheat though, or you don't want to cheat there, Tosh. But I'll paste you this code. And what this does is it has an uncached method, which is going to do the actual retrieval here, but then it makes a per instance LRU cache. But if you were to actually implement an LRU, probably the way you would go about doing it, and this is how I've done it before. Workspace, where did I do that? Pre-commit.ci? Yeah. In the run worker, we made an LRU. And the way I made an LRU is a dictionary, which mapped a string to some value type. And I treated this dictionary as an ordered dictionary. And whenever I retrieve an item, I would pop something from the end and then, or pop it from wherever position it is in the map and append it to the end. And then when I needed to remove items, I would just remove things, or when I needed to remove stuff at capacity, I would move it from the beginning. So this was my pattern for making an LRU that way. Which I can kind of paste you this as well. You want to see that? Sure, copy and edit. But that's two ways you would make an LRU, I guess. Hey, what's up, BJ Ruka? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. Hey, what's up, Philoji? I always forget how to say your name, but welcome back. Good to see you. Baitosh says, my use case is for doing lookups like if the value is in the LRU cache object, continue. Yeah, you could do something like that. King Cruz says, I hope you're having a great day. Keep up the great work. Awesome. Well, thanks for the kind words and for stopping by. So cool your Twitch chat. Oh yeah, that shows up in the terminal. Oh yeah, we were supposed to commit that. Let me do the commit for the alias. Add -p. We do want to add that. So split. Yes. No. 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 Add command for babi theme. Of course, I forgot a trailing comma. Split, yes, quit. Commit that, and then we want to add the alias as well. No, no, split, no, yes. Then I ran get add -u just instinctively. That's not what we want. No, no, split, no, yes, get commit -m, add alias from explains to explain. Cool. Push. Yes, get push. That's the command I was typing. Kribiki says, "Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream." Wait, you did a whole pronunciation thing on the person I rated. Which was hilarious. You just typed that in chat like it's Kriviki, you know, pronounced like Kriviki. Although I think it's supposed to be Krivike. I don't know. I wasn't paying too close attention. I was mostly just laughing at you trolling the streamer. But welcome back. Good to see you. GM Knight says hello, hello. How's it going, GM Knight? What are we doing? What? Oh yeah, we're doing comment stuff. Self dot. I get the current file. I guess it's self.file.comment. If self.file.selection.start self.file.comment. Comment. I guess it'd be toggle comment. Else self.file.toggle comment. Selection. Okay. This is not quite right. I probably need to make a whole command system for dispatching these, because there was a subtle bug with what I wrote. Oh, this is still a subtle bug. There we go. Krivike? Okay. That's what I'll go with. Dope. Yasemin Super God Bomber says, do you use the Python naming convention in all programming languages? Because I'm not a big fan of Java's naming convention. No, I usually try and stick to the one for the language. So like I'll use Pascal case in C#. I'll use, you know, why has it just escaped my head? What is camel case? Camel case. I'll use camel case in JavaScript. Yeah, I'll usually try and stick to whatever the language dictates. Drink by default says beer good. I agree. Beer is good. I approve of beer. Okay, so we've got this a little bit more working. This should now crash my test. Why do I have so many tabs open? Yep, so we get attribute error, I believe. Yeah, file has no toggle comment selection. Okay. Now I see how we got down this rabbit hole. Chester says, can't wait to mass comment in Babi. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Now Babi slash file. Okay, we'll do edit action comment. Final equals true. Prefix is a stir. I'm gonna turn none. Comment selection. Okay. So retrieve the selection. I think I do this same logic in all the other places too, which is a little bit annoying. EY equals min EY plus 1. Why is this not just baked into the selection thing? Maybe we'll make a smart selection. Selection lines. Tuple int. And we'll do this same logic here. Hey, what's up, IX Lives? Thank you for 9 lives. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. SYEY equals self dot selection lines. How's this gonna work? Int and prefix stir. Done. We'll figure that out in a second. How do I get the current line that I'm on? It has been a very, very long time since I have worked on babi. Def up. Self.buff dot something. Is it dot y? Yeah. Comment line. Self.buff.y. Prefix. SYEY. Self.comment line. There's one other problem here in that we need to detect whether the line starts commented so that we're doing this uniformly. So is commented. So we need to do something like comment line, add bool. This will be whether we add it or remove it. Maybe we... Oh, it's the drop song. Yes. Yes. Okay, and then we need to do similar down here. Commented equals self dot is commented s y. If commented otherwise. Okay. So now I just got to implement these three functions. A to C drop, right? K says, do you have any recommendations on learning classes that are more advanced? Not really. Not really. There are some more advanced, at least in Python, there are some more advanced tutorials on things like... What's the website? I linked to it in my video. I forget what it's called. Not Learn Python, but the other one. I'm just having a real hard time remembering stuff today. I don't know what's up with that. Real Python, yes, that is the one I was thinking of. Rollers, that one. So that's one where you can find some stuff. Chester said, classes took me a long while to grasp. I just needed to start implementing them in different contexts. Yeah, I think that's fair. Return self.buff line number dot strip dot starts with prefix. I think that's how we implement this. Comment remove. So the tricky thing we have to do here is we need to take a string that's like foo bar and leave it alone. And we also have to take a string that's like wat and turn that into wat. We also need to take a string that's like wat and turn that into the same wat string. So, how am I going to do this? System 1100 says, what is the hardest thing you've ever done in Python? Like the thing that required you to use 200% of your programming knowledge. I don't know. I don't really work on hard problems, I don't think. I think like most of the stuff that I do is like a lot of small pieces that come together to make a difficult thing. But I mean, you could talk about like the largest projects that I've dealt with, which would be like, or the largest projects that are mine, which would be like pre-commit or babi. Those are my two biggest projects. The most complicated project I've worked on is PyTest by far. Although, I guess Yelp main would have been more complicated because it's literally 3 million lines of fucking Python. You can't get more complicated than 3 million lines of code. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, what's up, Harsha? Nothing special. Welcome back. Good to see you. Yassine says regex maybe. I mean, I do write a lot of fun regexes. Jagex Terra says you should be proud of babi. Yeah, I am pretty proud of this. It works pretty well, and you know we're adding some cool stuff today, so that's kind of neat. So, I think what we want to do is find all the white space at the beginning. Match self.buff line number. Actually, let's see. Oh, I tried to reach over for the Y key again. Okay, wait. This is supposed to be 3. Does this function not take a an offset? Start. Oh, I have 5 spaces there. Okay, so we can use starts with there. If ws begin, or if what? If self.buff self.buff line number len ws begin dot group, just do bracket 0. Wait. If self.buff line number dot starts with prefix at ws length Only in that case are we changing things. Sorry, I'm getting my flip-flops because I feel more comfortable sitting down with my flip-flops on. That's a weird thing to do. Hey, what's up, Offlight X, who says, check white space before or after the character, and if there's a match, remove that, but you need a delimiter. What happens when you have a sentence? No, I know what I'm doing, just let me write the code. I got this. I know what I'm doing. Leading white space, check for the prefix, and if it starts with it, remove the prefix and any white space after it. It's simpler than you're suggesting. Much simpler than you're suggesting. Self.buff line number is equal to alias match 0. And then self.buff. I'll use an F string in a second. Line number. Then WSLen plus len prefix dot L strip. Yeah. This will. Oh, I need a colon. Yeah. Just offset. Do you fit on one line? No, you don't, but we can do something like this. Line equals self.buff. Line number. Cool. Hey, what's up, Octavius? Hello, hello. Plush Master says, what is that edit action decorator doing? Let me show you an example. So whenever I, there's undo and redo in Babi, so if I type some characters and then I undo and redo them, Babi keeps track of a stack of edit actions that happen there. And this decorator keeps track of all of that. Oh, I also need to do a clear selection as well here. Clear selection. Actually, maybe that shouldn't clear the selection. Oh yeah, it has to because due to a bug. I'll fix that bug some other day. But yeah, it saves the lines before and after and computes a smart diff between them. Kind of. That's kind of how it works. And then stores that diff in the undo and redo buffer so that it can, go back and forth there. Hey, what's up, Mewtwo? Hello, hello. Welcome back. Good to see you. Mewtwo also streams, so if you guys want to check out Mewtwo's channel, there's a link. Venetia Decker says, where do you work? I am currently unemployed. I was laid off from Lyft in April due to their COVID-related layoff stuff. I've been working on a startup idea since then for a while, but realistically, it won't succeed. Then I'll go back to doing real job at some point. But that's the way things go. Trap Sandwich says, what switches are in the keyboard? Thank you, MJ, for doing the keyboard command. These are reds, which I don't really like reds. I wish I had browns, but don't get to look a gift horse in the mouth. But Mewtwo says, oh, you don't have to. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You gotta support your fellow streamers, Plushmaster says he works at home, of course. It's true. It's true, it's true. Okay, I think this is right. We'll write some more tests for it in a bit. Also, I didn't actually define this white space regex, so we gotta do that still. And then we gotta do a similar thing for comment add. Although I think we just invariantly do it in this one. line equals self.buff, line number, line number. Is that something? This should be dot strip. Make sure I test for that as well. Hey, what's up, Juicebox Hero? Welcome back from le meetings. Le. Remember when that was like really funny internet stuff, where putting lay in front of everything was the cool thing to do? Man, and those were the good old days. Hey, what's up, CMH? Hello, welcome back. Can't stay long, but I saw that you were streaming. Well, thanks for stopping by, CMH. Always good to see you. Wingstip says, is it good practice to use assertions in non-test code? So, some will say that assertions in non-test code is bad practice, and some will even say that it's a security vulnerability, and I think they're wrong. I think assertions are fine in code, but in this case, I need this assertion to convince MyPy that this is not a none value, because match returns an optional match object, and so in the case where this were not matched, I want the code to crash, and this case should be impossible once I write this regex, because this regex will look something like re.compile backslash let's see, backslash s star. So this will match 0 or many characters. So this will always match something. It's impossible for this to not match. So that's why I'm asserting this down here, because MyPy doesn't know that it's impossible to not match. I mean, it maybe could if it were like super clever, but it doesn't. But I do like that. Astoria PZ says, I'm French and it was not fun for us yet. D-Toys says, le streamer, le programming, and le Python. It's true, it's true. That is what I'm doing today. Okay. Self.buff, line number equals WS match 0. I gotta do the same thing as here, is not none. Plus prefix plus a space plus line WSLN colon. I think that's all we need to do here. And then we can see if it works. It of course works! Works great! Did I not call it? What did I call it? Oh. Toggle comment. Cannot unpack a non-iterable none-type object. I must not have implemented that function. Oh, where is it? Here it is. Yeah, I just forgot to do. Duh. It's commented. I should have really just run MyPy. Oh, of course, WSRE. Alright, to compile, raw string, beginning of the string, and then white space of any number of characters including 0. Oh, look at that! That was fucking sick. Please uncomment. Oh, yes. That's pretty cool. What happens if I do this again? Oh, that makes sense. It doesn't toggle with the same character, but kind of works. If I just do comment on one line, cool. I'm pretty hyped about that. That's pretty nice. But we're not done yet. We do not have enough tests. Comment test. But our current tests are passing, so that's good. Test features comment test. Test toggle comment. What? Test comment partially commented. Whoops. Let's see, h.press comment. So this should start by saying it's text. Let's actually put line 2 on here just so that it shows the boundary condition. Line 2, and then h. Separate these out so we can see the steps here. Oh wait, text. We should see line 0. Should have uncommented here based on the first line. A little bit arbitrary, but it's kind of an edge case, so I think it's fine to be a little bit arbitrary here and just like pick a decision on that. Let's do uncommented as well. Ditchy Chandak says, I realized a few days back that Chico Codes gifted me a sub. Yeah, Chico Codes is a nice guy. I know him from Lyft. We used to work together before I was laid off. But yes, welcome to Subdom. H.press up and then shift down. We should see this as our stuff here. And then after commenting, it should leave this alone. Oh no, it should double comment this, right? Yeah, it should double comment this, I think. So we should end up with this and then this. Yes, cool. Test features comment. Test comment single line. Actually care about line 2 though. Okay. Oh, you're right. F test comment with trailing white space. Oh, we got an error in one of these. Tend lines. We tried to do the tendies there. Cool, so that's done. And we did that as well. Coverage, erase. see if we still covered all of our new cases. It's 95. Oh, we never do remove comment on inline. It feels so nice to work on this project again. I've worked on this in quite a long time, and yeah, just feels nice. Press this. Await text line 0. Line 1. We should toggle the inline and remove that. See what coverage says this time. Now, there are files here that I expected not to cover, like the testing runner and this conf test and these. What is t.py? What are you? Oh, you're the little example that I did for chat. But that looks good so far. We also wanted to make a keyboard shortcut for this. The problem with the keyboard shortcut is we would have to always use the default comment character, which I think is fine for my use cases. What does :C do in Vim? Because I want to maybe do a... Does :C not do anything? Does anyone know? I don't know. I don't know Vim. Let's see. Vim :C. Of course, I'm never gonna be able to Google this. It didn't say that command was not found, so that makes me a little concerned. But I wanted to maybe make :C a shortcut for commenting. Hey, what's up, Jordan Glannock? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. Yasin says, so I made an e-commerce website, a blog, and a school platform using Django and Stripe API, plus some other small projects with Python, but I feel like what I've done is nothing and not enough, even though I learned a lot about web dev, backend, and databases. That sounds like you built quite a lot. I wouldn't say that's nothing. Sounds pretty impressive, actually. Hey, what's up, Dr. Oliver Schultz? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Are you looking for like new projects to expand on, or like what are you looking for there, Yasin? How does this work?
So space, night, death, darkness, not being there is an essential component of being.
The problem with this is these functions all don't do selection stuff. So I think I'm just gonna do it like this for now, and I can always add a keyboard shortcut for later. Add comment command for toggling comments. Git push origin head. Look, chat, we got something done this stream. It wasn't what I was trying to get done this stream, but it's something. They want that still. Cool. Alright, let's look at this patch. We made a new regex. We split out this method. Make this window a little bit wider so we can see the code here. This can be lstrip, which is slightly more efficient. Is commented. I should have done no edit, so I didn't have to wait for the editor to show up. Oh well. Yeah, we wrote tests for all of that. Wrote tests for this. And that. And this. And we wrote tests for this strip here. We didn't write tests for the left-hand strip here, but I think that's fine. Close enough. Okay, there's our tests. Sweet! Sweet! Yassine says, I really want to expand on the backend stuff like pure logic, servers, and stuff like software development because I'm not a big fan of front-end. I feel you on the, like, not a fan of front-end. Although, I kind of like front-end, but I prefer the, like, back-end infrastructure dev tools stuff as well. But anyway, once I commit this, merge this, I'll make a new release, and then I'll be able to do... Why did I do this in the first place? Oh, I know why. Paker... No, not pre-commit, pre-commit.ci. And Packer. Puppet. Okay, this is what I wanted to do the whole time, is just grab this and do comment. Huh. I don't really like what it did there. I might need to refine this behavior now that I look at this. Because it would be much nicer if all of those brackets lined up. Also, I'm realizing now that if I were to manually comment something like how I would do it, like this, and then I selected this and did uncomment, it fucks up the indentation. So it's not quite there yet. But it kind of works. But I'll work on making that better some other time. But for now, for now it's a little bit janky, but it does what it needs to do. Improve comment handling. Initial support for comment was added in 85. However, this isn't quite correct. For instance, these cases I feel are wrong. This one, input, output. That looks wrong. And then case 2, input and output. But those will be things to fix at another date. But works well enough for now. CMH says brackets. Oscar Allen says Vim can do that. Smile. Well, yeah, no fucking shit. Vim can do that. Vim's been around for however many fucking years, and this is a brand new text editor. And I just wrote the behavior minutes ago on stream. Like, of course, Vim can do it. But you know what Vim can't do? You ready for something that Vim can't do? Oscar Allen? That Nano can do? Fucking Nano can do this? So, if we open Real Nano, text editors support this offset thing. And so if I open True Nano, it will open to the third line of the file. And Vim supports this too. So if you open Vim, it opens to the third line, like you expect. But if you open two files in Nano, let's say +3 for setup.cfg and +5 for patch, you'll see it opens to the third line. Oh, this is Babi. Babi opens to the third line, and then it opens to the fifth line. And the same happens for True Nano. So True Nano opens to the third line, and then opens to the fifth line. But if you do this with Vim, it opens just to the fifth line, which is fucking garbage. And then the second file, it opens to the first line. Yeah, it's just completely wrong. But anyway. Kevin Joker says, and here I am thinking you updated the logo for Babbies. No, the Babbies in the stream is still the Pythons. We've left that there. But Babi has a logo. Babi has a real logo now, which is this B for Babi here. MJ137 says, congrats on 69 stars. Nice. Nice. I did it, Mom. I got to 69 stars. Why is this taking so long? Oh, PyPy. It's always PyPy. PyPy's the slow one. But anyway, there's something that Vim does wrong, so we're even now, okay, Oscar Allen? We're even. Right. Can you be done yet? I think you're done now. Maybe? Maybe? 84%. Hey, what's up, Ethan Tything? Hello. Welcome back. Good to see you. Kevin Stewart says, sorry, I ruined it for you. 70 stars now. I appreciate the star either way. But we know that to get to 70, it must be 69 at some point. Imagine opening issues before merging the PR. I mean, I already knew that I'm not going to implement it right now, so I'm okay opening the thing there. Redneck Text says, try Vim filename +3, filename +5. So, even more wrong? Patch +5. That's still open to the fifth line. And the first line, so still wrong. Still doesn't work. Binary Slash says, I kind of feel like I don't know a lot when it comes to programming because I always have used an IDE. I mean, I don't know. I think using an IDE is completely fine, completely acceptable as well. Oh no, I'm out of drink. Hey, what's up, Joaquin? Hello. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Internet says, take VS Code's implementation of comments. Yeah, I'm gonna improve it later, but this is enough to get what I wanted it to do. I can always improve it later. I know the shortcomings. And okay, incrementally improving. That's the thing about software, and especially big companies, is all software is essentially incremental improvements. You never build the whole thing and just ship it at once. It's always like, build a small, acceptable, minimally viable product, ship it, and then fix the bugs and features along the way. If you spent time getting things perfect 100% of the time, you'd never complete anything. Ethan says, it must be 69 at some point. Ah, yes, the intermediate niceness theorem. It's true. What is the... That's something from calculus, right? Why are you not done yet? What are you doing? Are you hung? Or what is going on? Oh, you are done. You were just chilling for no good reason, PyPy. PyPy's pretty slow on this project because it doesn't keep the process open long enough for it to be jitted, and coverage makes it real angry. So there's just all sorts of stuff that makes things mad. But anyway, Adrian says, "Tell that to my employee, right?" Hey, what's up, the dumb engineer? Hello, hello, welcome back. Intermediate value theorem, indeed, that is the one. Where like if the average of an integral is some value, then it must have crossed that threshold at some point. Michaela says, "I'm now updating Visual Studio 2019, so I have a couple of free hours to watch you." Nice. Nice. Has Michaela lost her chat rank now that she hasn't been here for a couple streams? Oh, that's my chat rank. Was it chat, top 10 chat? What is the command? No, Michaela's still in first. You're still beating out the bot by 200 messages. 200 messages. The bot's getting close, though. Okay. But anyways... looks like we just edit this. O.O.14. Git tag that, tilde alt vfn python set pi sdist bdist wheel twine upload dash r pypi dist slash 14 star. Then I gotta grab my pypi password from my password manager, and then we'll paste that bad boy in here. My password is Control-Shift-V. How did you guys know? And then we'll push up the tags. And now the latest version of Babi has a broken version of commenting. But it kind of works, so it's good enough. Good enough for now. Journey AI says low versus updates. Not sure what you mean there. Not sure what you mean. Jam says that means I have to start spamming. It's true, you guys had to talk more in chat. Internet says, why does the bot even get counted? Because I was lazy in the way that I implemented the code. Miguel says, leave the bot online after the stream so I can spam and keep my rank up. Ethan says, guess we will see Twitch chat replaced by bots eventually. We broke Babi? I mean, we added a feature to it that isn't complete. An incomplete feature. Joaquim says, do you know you can have Twine use the password from Bitwarden? How would that work? Oh, but then I would have to type my unlock password, probably. You can use it as a keychain? Is that what you're saying, Joaquim? I don't actually have Bitwarden installed in my VM. But yeah, that makes sense. For now, it works fine for me to just copy paste. The other thing that I can use with Twine is I can use a PyPI token. Where you can make an API token and put that in my PyPI RC and set my username to _token. Set your password to the token value. The problem with this, and the reason that I haven't done this yet, is reason I have not done this yet is I version control my PyPI RC. And this is what its contents are right now, and so I would have to put, you know, password, whatever in here. Although, realistically, I can just stop worrying about test PyPI because I have not uploaded to test PyPI in forever, and so I could do this, and then I could manage this in Puppet, and I could use my little Hyra encryption module to put a token in there, but I haven't done that yet. It's on the infinite list of to-dos. Joaquim says, yep, I know about those. I disclosed a security issue about those. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, I would do that tokens as well. Kevin's Joburg says Vim plus 3 file A plus E plus 5 file B. Does that actually work? Does this work? Setup.cfg and then readme.md. There's only 3 lines in this file, so that's fine. And then what? Control N? There's only 1 file. Why didn't it work? Oh, are you saying that I need to run this in here? Why did it start in insert mode? Oh, that only has 3 lines. What happened here? Whatever. I trust you. I got you. Yeah, CMH, my hair is no longer purplish. It's a little bit... It's darker than usual because it's still... I mean, there's still like a few that are very purple, but it's mostly faded out by now. Najslaw says, "Hi, I'm totally new to program, started learning. I don't know shit yet." Well, that's fine. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you. We have a lot of people that are kind of beginners to programming that stroll by the stream and you know, ask questions, and like I'm happy to answer questions from chat. As long as you guys are happy for me to answer them. Hey, what's up, JJMC? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Ethan says, "My Twitch stream is really laggy and low quality. It's just me, though." Yeah, because I was going to say, I have not dropped any frames today, so we're doing good in the frames department. Hey, what's up, Najlos? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Kevin Joberg says, :BD to get to the next file. Uh-oh. How is BD different than :N? I don't know enough Vim, so I'm honestly asking. Shazrat says, "Why are digital textbooks so much freaking money? Holy crap." Well, because, you know, they can't get you to buy the real thing, and they assume you're gonna pirate it anyway. So they might as well mark up the real thing. Hey, what's up, Potato? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Kevin Stroberg says, "Nevertheless, my point was that Vim is broken. It works, but it's a hack." That's fair, that's fair. IMDigia says, "Tabs versus spaces." Well, I've implemented my own text editor, IMDigia, and it's actually impossible to type hard tabs in my text editor currently. The only way that you can type a hard tab is if there's already one in the file. Echo-E /T to this file. I didn't mean triple. So it can render hard tabs, but the only way to actually type them is to like copy and paste them, and then like, you know, say I wanted to indent this thing, I can do that and get hard tabs. But anyway. But yeah, I like spaces. KNGL says, "In Vim command line, what after the plus is done in the command mode, so Vim plus Q foo.txt opens Vim and immediately quits it." That's funny. I like that. Hey, Dim Sum Card, thank you for subscribing with Prime Gaming. Welcome to the stream, and I appreciate the subscription. Prime Gaming. I hate that they rebranded. I'm gonna continue to make that joke until I no longer think it's funny. I'm sorry, chat. But I appreciate the subscription. Michaela says, "The stream is low quality for me too. I mean, it's still 1080p, but the content..." God damn it, Michaela. Azar CB says, "Can you recommend any projects for a solid portfolio?" I don't have a portfolio. I don't know. I don't know, man. Hey, what's up, Journey AI? IMDigia says /S, but you answered. I mean, it's true, it's true. Alexis says rip make files. Yeah, rip make files. I do plan to make tab support work better based on file type at some point. But you know, I haven't edited enough make files, so it hasn't been painful enough for me to implement that. But yeah, you're right. You're right. RIP make files. Internet says you should rename the GitHub repo to Nano and then Vavu and then back to Babi. Oh, so GitHub redirects it? Yeah. Wasn't Vavu the bird in the Lion King? Also, it sounds very similar to the, like, evil spirit in Korra. It says, I heard that if you look at your passwords in Vim, they're automatically replaced by asterisks. You should test it out, Anthony. Let's see, guys. Can you see my password here? Does it show it for you? I'm only seeing asterisks. I don't know what's going on here. You can't see it. Fucking pog right there. I didn't know Vim had this type of security issue. How does it know as I'm typing the password though? That's the weird thing. Like, do you see the stars here? Like, it must know that, like, this is the prefix of my password. Weird. Vim is real smart. Vim is real smart. I guess I'll have to add that feature to my text editor. Kayla and being a troll goes together like peanut butter and sriracha. What keeps this hunter one? It's true, it's true. Oh, actually, no, I just see stars. I don't know what you're talking about. What? Damn it, I ruined the joke. Anyway. Okay, but what we want to do is, oh, did I background that? I did. What we wanted to do is make it so that I could comment these lines out. And I know it's somewhat broken, but it's good enough, such that I can run the puppets, and hopefully things will still work. Is there a dry run mode for Puppet? Puppet dry run. Hey, what's up, Yanyan? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Actually, we'll Control-C that and do help and see if we can get something from there and type in my bad password. Alexis says OBS plugin that runs OCR and stream and blurs the secrets. Yeah, that would be pretty wild. Ethan says, so then it's storing your password in plain text. Oh, true. It would have to do that. Dash test. Dash no op. Okay, that's what I want to do. Dash no op. And TTS on every line of text printed to a screen. Yeah. Current value absent should be directory, should be file. Okay, that looks good. We can run that. But I'm out of drink, so I think I'm gonna go grab another drink and fill up my water and stuff. And I will be right back. I will see you guys in a bit. Alright, we're back. I got another one of the same beer. Which, has some rust around the rim of the bottle for some reason. I'm sure it's fine. What could go wrong? But anyway, how are you doing, chat? Tastes fine, so I assume it's good. Dies on stream, right? Oh no, Michaela, your sub expired. Pouring that looked like wine. Yeah, it does look a lot like wine. It's a very, reddish color. It's a framboise. It's a raspberry lambic, Belgian beer. But yeah, it looks a little bit like wine. Alexa says, I'm having a weird error with Kafka and Docker where it preserves the topics even after nuking every container image and volume and rebuilding the images. What? How? Where is it storing data? Is it like volume mounting somewhere and like using that to restore the data? That would be my guess. Roller says it's 5 p.m. somewhere. It's 5 p.m. in Eastern time. So, it's true. Jam says dying while streaming good content. Bytosh says, I'm trying to implement first dry run, but I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to make a sudoers rule that allows anyone to run a command as... where did that go? Close all these. Labels, enhancement. Sure, someone can help me with this. We can close all of these ones. I think what I want is all equals user2, no password, and then the path to podman. Modules. Wait, what happens if I break sudo? How does that work? I'm gonna open up a root session just in case. Manifest PC runner user file. Let's see, sudoers.d slash what? Allow podman as PC runner. Content equals. I think this is supposed to be all, and this is supposed to be PC runner, and this is supposed to be user bin podman. I think. And then these are what's supposed to be 440? It seems unnecessarily permissive. It seems unnecessarily permissive. IMDGS says use vsudo. So I'm actually using a configuration management system to write these files for me. And so I'm not using vsudo here. I guess I could use it to play around with this, but I'm more confident than that. Hey, what's up, Arthino? Hello. How's it going? Dr. Rizifo says, nice, I lose virginity tomorrow. How can you predict the future like that, my dude? How do you know whether that's gonna actually happen? I guess unless you're like paying for sex, and then you would know. Robert Westbury says, could Babi ever support LSP? Yes, I do plan to add LSP support at some point, but Have not. That is not on the current list of things that I'm working on. Let's see, owner root, group, root, and I think this is 440. Yeah, 440. Do 440. And then require package Hotman. Hey, Miguel Code TV, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. How's it going? We'll give them a little bit to show up in chat and see the ad, the stupid ad that Twitch sends. But welcome to the stream, raiders. What were you guys working on today? I guess I should introduce myself as well while you all get to do your raid shenanigans. But my name is Anthony, and I write code. Yeah, that'd be the lamest intro ever. But my name is Anthony. I primarily work on Python stuff in open source, so I maintain a bunch of important packages such as Flake8, Tox, PyTest, and pre-commit, which is a project that I created myself. I also maintain Dead Snakes and libsass Python, a bunch of other stuff around there. My primary passion is developer tooling and productivity tools and code formatters and linters. Those are the stuff that I really like. And what I'm working on today is a startup. It is called pre-commit.ci, and it is an idea to sort of software as a service the pre-commit framework, which is the tool that I talked about before, which is a linter and code formatter framework that knows stuff about good hooks. But that's me, and welcome to the stream. Let's see. Miguel says, still bidding the Twitch client and go. Nice. I mean, you'll get that working eventually. I believe in you. What is your goal with the Twitch client? To do like a chatbot kind of thing, kind of like my chatbot, but in Go instead of Python? Nice. Arthena says, nice. I tuned in late enough to directly get to the coding part. We actually wrote a thing on stream already today. Check this out, Artheno. I mean, it's not perfect, but it kind of works. But you can comment and uncomment in Babi now. We did a little bit of text editing stuff today. Also include the chat as an overlay. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, mine's not as an overlay. Mine's just when I open this terminal, I can see the chat. But an overlay sounds pretty cool. Does that mean you have like a web server component too? Because that sounds pretty cool. Bytosh says, this is what I meant by dry run for initial run. Oh, I see. Nice. Cool. That makes sense. So like the first run just like prints some method and then does something else. Nice. That makes sense. We have a server sent event endpoint. Oh, you're getting like real fancy. So you have like a client that listens and talks to Twitch, and then you have another server component and they talk in between each other. Server sent events. Nice. Cool. Oh, what is this? Oh, I didn't know this was a thing. Is this like WebSocket stuff? I have not played with WebSockets, so it wouldn't surprise me. It seems similar. It's like WebSockets, but a little lighter. Oh, cool. That's nice. Mytosh says, is there a clever way you can implement that? A smart person like you would know better. The problem is, like, doing a dry run, doing a like dry run is kind of tricky because like you don't know what part is going to actually do the work here. But the way that I would probably structure this is something like you know, for dry run, or for do work in, I don't know, for actually work in true comma false. Well, it'd be false comma true, right? You do work event dry run equals actually work. Actually, it would be what? Or dry run in true comma false. And then in your actual do work function, event dry run equals true. Of course, we could type these, but actually, since it's untyped, you leave out the parentheses there. And then you would say like if dry run. Oops, we didn't finish this down here. If dry run print would actually blah blah blah. Something like that, and then do actual work here. Something like that, maybe? This is how I would do it. I don't know. Although, realistically, I would probably do something like parser equals argparse dot argument parser dot add argument dry run action equals store true args equals parser. I'd probably do something like this, where you have a command line argument that configures dry run and then do your actual work based on that. That would be how I would do it. But again, I don't know your exact use case or like whether this is running headless or non-interactive or what. Okay, we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that this doesn't break sudo. I think I have the syntax right. Syntax error at mode. Probably had an extra comma. Or a missing comma. No parameter name contents. It's probably content and not contents. Yeah, it's content. I think we have the right syntax error. It's true, Michaela. It's true. Okay, this worked. Well, we broke sudo, so it's a good thing that I left this open. Why didn't this parse properly? Parse error in that on line 1. Syntax error near line 1. Alright, well, we fixed sudo, so that's not the right way to do this. Why was it invalid syntax? It looks like this one, except let's try, instead of all here, let's try acytilly. Let's see what that does. Hey, what's up, Marco Dev? Hello, hello. He says, dude, you're gonna tell me to use visudo. I already know. I already know. I can see it in the chat log. Oh, that didn't work either. So, what the fuck? Let's try this. Just copy and paste what they have. Surely that will work, right? Instead of user1, we're gonna use acytilly and PC runner. How do I make it forget the sudo? Dash v? Dash... How do I make it forget? What's the opposite of validate? Sudo dash k. Okay. Sudo dash u pc runner bin bash echo hi. Okay, so that works. What the fuck? So if I change this to all, well, I only have one user. Sudo dash k. That still works. If we change this to user bin podman. Dash k. This should fail. Or ask me the password. That's good. That should work. Okay. So what the fuck? Why does this not work when I put it in Puppet? Gail says, I wish this tab order button would work for this heckin' WinForms thing. Anyway, I guess I'm back to lurking and doing homework. Have fun, Anthony. Cool. Well, thanks for stopping by. So did I just try and type sudo into chat? I did. Yeah, so what the fuck? Is this file? Oh, is it because it doesn't contain a new line? That would be so dumb. That would be so dumb. How do I put a new line here? Like so? I swear, if it's because of the new line... if it's because of the new line, that's gonna be real dumb. It put a literal new line in there. I gotta delete that again. I think I need these type of quotes. I'm not good at Ruby, so I don't actually know. Hey, what's up? As Philumbra, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Sudo echo hi. It was the goddamn new line. God damn it. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. Yay! Holy shit, there's a lot of procs going on here. Okay, but it works. It works, it works. If there's no new line, it crashes. That's right, Pytosh. If there's no new line, it crashes. Having clause is not applied to all rows. That seems bad. InnoDB buffer pool size is set to the default value, increasing to 256 megs solves the issue for the provided data. Oh my god. What a fucking weird ass bug. Originally having is kind of rare in SQL, but still pretty wild. Hey, what's up, Joda RV? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. For those of you that don't know how having works in SQL, let me zoom this in. So SQL has two different ways to filter data. One of them is the where clause, and the where clause happens between from and group by, so it allows you to filter pre-grouping. The having clause allows you to filter after grouping. So yeah, this is just bugged. It's wild. Agent X says, I think I got Babi to support tabs with some like toggle character. I mean, it's not hard to support tabs. You would just have to say like, you know, toggle tab and like type a tab character instead of 4 spaces. Hey, what's up, Subscribed? Hello. Welcome to the stream. Internet says tab size T tab size. Oh, you mean like a separate command for it? Yeah, makes sense. Or you abused the tab size one. Journey AI says BI teams go crazy on monthly reports. I have some monthly. Oh, this thing? Is that what this is? Anyway, that's a pretty weird one. How am I doing? I'm doing well. We're working on some container isolation stuff. I think this is not quite what I want it to be. I don't want all users to be able to do that, but actually, is it okay if all users do that? It would mean that 2 commands. It would mean that someone, and if someone's on the box, then they can. Oh, this does give them an escalation path. There we go. That's how I can words. Let's try. Can we put a user that doesn't exist? Is my question. Let's just set it to all for now. We can update this later. Let's actually make a file for it. Puppet modules runner files sudoers allow podman as PC runner. To do method to a specific user. That's not what I wanted to paste. I wanted to paste this. Well, let's see what happens if I do Ubuntu and a still here. See if that works. Source puppet modules runner slash sudoers slash allow podman as PC runner. Let's see if that crashes. That breaks things. Bribe says, can you say hello at my bro? What the fuck? Are you a bot, Subribed? You sound like a bot. Sophia says, what are you doing? That's a question that I ask myself a lot. I'm working on a tool called pre-commit.ci, which you can learn more by doing Bang Project in chat. And we're particularly working on isolating some security bits of the container runtime. Because I'm basically running some unprivileged code in my CI environment, some untrusted code in my CI environment, and I want to limit the network and other stuff that this particular code can do. So I'm making it so the primary user, which is a privileged user, can shell out to unprivileged code as an unprivileged user with restrictions on what they can do. And so I'm working on the like cross user restriction bits. Let me make sure this is not broken. Sudo -k. Sudo -u PC runner oddman run. Can you say hello for my bros? What are you trying to get me to say, Sublime? I've said hello like 4 times. Am I muted? I'm not muted. Okay, this works. Cool. This should prompt me for password. Cool. Athena says, Anthony, now that you're a big boy streamer, can you please replace the $5 headphones? Yeah, I should get nicer headphones. You're right. Juice was actually going to give me a pair of headphones. I don't know if she's forgotten about that or if they still exist or if not, but apparently she has like several pairs of nice headphones that she's not using. What's in my OPSEC says I have 70,000 babbies. What do I do with the babbies? I mean, there's a couple of things you can do. You can, it's actually not much. You can trigger Time Bracer, or if you get to 100,000, you can trigger a 12-hour stream, which will be cool. Shoner says wait till 100k and then make him stream for 12 hours. Yeah. Spy says, my god, feels good to see someone not using Vim. Always feel stupid about using Nano. So, spoilers. I'm not actually using Nano, but I used to use Nano. I just do I type Nano on the terminal, and it's alias to Babi. But Babi is inspired by Nano, so it's the same kind of commands, but it is my own text editor that I've written from scratch. Hey, what's up, Unfeeling Cash? Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. What's in my OPSEC says, I lied, I have 7.7k. Yeah, I don't know why you would lie about that. It was pretty obvious that you didn't have 70k, because you don't come to my stream very often. But I don't know why you would... I don't know why you would lie about something so silly like that. Hey, what's up, Flat Math? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Oh, no. Oh, no. Rollers, my dude. Well then, if you guys, well, you can't really tell unless you're on Twitch, but where is it? Rollers has redeemed a 12-hour stream. So I guess that means that this is gonna happen at some point. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, we did we attempted a 24-hour stream at the beginning of the month, so we're gonna wait at least until next month to do this, but it is there now, so it will happen. Oh man. Hey, what's up, Sophia? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I guess you guys can start you know, figuring out what ideas you want me to do on my 12-hour stream. But it's gonna happen. Unfeeling Cash says it's been a minute. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back as always. I know you from Shoddy's stream. Papa Pig says, so can we combine our babbies? I mean, you don't have to now, where the 12-hour stream has been triggered. Danderson says, get wrecked. Did somebody say 12-hour stream? It's indeed we did say 12-hour stream, Rollers. So what color do we dye his hair this time? It's true. What color do you guys want my hair to be this time? Frosted white, pastel pink. What does that mean, Arthino? A mock interview. Oh, we could do a mock interview. That would be cool. I'd be down to do that. Shaz Robot, do you want to be mock interviewed? I think Shaz is not here. I think Shaz is busy right now. But live juggling all the switches he has. That would be a dangerous juggle there. You can do a fake technical interview for Shaz, and I'll do the cultural interview. Twitch Sings. Yeah, so I tried to set up Twitch Sings. Twitch Sings, shh, don't tell Juice, but Twitch Sings is kind of garbage. Like, doesn't work very well. But we can maybe figure that out. Hermit says yellow. So the problem with light colors is you would have to bleach my hair first, and I think my hair is gonna fall out if we bleach it from all the dye. I know you're right here, Juice. It's for the bit. What's on my OBSEC says the COVID hit me. I no longer wash. You should take a shower once in a while, my dude. Showering is a good thing. Why are you telling me that you don't shower? What a fucking weird thing to hop in a chat and be like, hey guys, guess what? I don't shower, I smell. Like, what? I mean, to each their own, I guess. Like, if that's your jam, what's in my OBSEC? Like, as long as I don't have to smell you, you can shower or not shower as much as you please. Yikes! Never thought this stream would get to this state. They'll tell me about their shower routines. Sudo-k. This should prompt for password. Add password. Sudo-k. Sudo-u PC runner. Podman run. RMTI Ubuntu Focal. That's how we spell Focal. That should work without a password. And this should prompt for password. Okay, cool. This is working great. I don't smell. I put fresh clothes on every day. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ugh. Why? Why? Juice says we could live stream going to Costco. We could. Have you seen, Juice, have you seen my, the clip that I did about Anthony becomes an IRL streamer? we could live out the IRL stream reality. Where's the top all the cookies? Yeah, here we go. This clip is good. What's a OBSEC says there's a magic basket. It washes and irons everything. Do you live with your mom? What's a my OBSEC? Aren't you like 30, my dude? You should shower. Jesus. Eastern says, I normally shower with only 1 bar of soap, but now that my hair is too long for just soap, I had to buy shampoo. You guys all have the weirdest, like, shower things. El Papa Pig says, all that ADD in Costco happening real time. Yeah, so when Juice and I go to Costco, we do this thing where we walk up and down every single aisle, so you don't have to ADD, you literally go to the entire store. So we could do that on stream. Hey, what's up, David Ekorva? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. 12-hour stream of Anthony learning Vim. I do know how to use Vim. I'm just not that great at it. Isn't that clip great though? Dim Sum Cart says, Costco is not the same since they're not doing samples during COVID. It's true. Costco is the only decent date idea left nowadays during COVID plus fires. Yeah. If you go to Costco, you have to go through every sample station until they cut you off. Yeah, they don't have sample stations right now. So, trivially done. Costco is like white people dim sum. Are you gonna tweet that, Juice? Are you going to shower on the 12-hour stream like you did on the 18-hour stream? Probably. You need to save that idea until it's over. Yeah. What, do you think COVID's ever gonna end? I don't see an end in sight at this point. But anyway. Okay, so that's half of the puzzle. that allows us to run containers as another user. I'm a little bit alcohol silly right now, aren't I? Builder run. So these need to become sudo -u PC runner. Sudo -u PC runner. We will move this set of flags to the next line for both of these because we have run out of space there. These also need to be. These also need to be that. And that as well. Actually, I think I'm gonna leave the sudo on that line and move this to the next line. Yeah, I like that better. That way it's more obvious what is happening here. Okay, so the problem is pre-commit.ci.builder.run. Pre-commit 1 and demo. This should crash. Hey, what's up, Pocket22? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. Oh, right. Right. Sudo -u PC runner podman build -t pre-commit :1 dot. We actually build this image as that user. Unbound Cache says, I think enough of the population will become infected that it fades out. So there's signs that herd immunity may not apply to COVID. Now, granted, I'm not I'm not an immunologist, so I don't know what I'm talking about here. But there have been some studies that show that reinfection is possible, and that the mutation rate may be high enough that getting it once will not prevent you from getting it again. There are also cases where people have gotten it more than once, so I'm not sure what's going to happen to that. Juice says more meetings. Okay, Juice. You know, just meetings. I guess that's what happens when you have a real job. Fox Term says, Mr. Anthony writes code. I'm sorry to inform you, but some pretty evil samurai slashed your keyboard in half. Oh no, my keyboard. The poor thing, it's been split. Yes, it's true, Fox Term. My keyboard has been split. We're actually gonna be. I'm gonna be making a funny video at some point that was suggested by Nixative in chat, where I just take like some cheap. The title of the video is gonna be like turn any keyboard into a ergonomic keyboard, and I'm gonna take like a like shitty Logitech keyboard and just like break it over my knee and be like, look, now you have a split keyboard. It was so easy to make. Oops. But I think that video will be funny. But we'll see what happens. Jam says, so we're fucked. Yeah, possibly. Shoner says, sounds like Flu V2. Who gave it an upgrade? Yeah. Unreal Cash says, that would really suck, but we'll see what happens after the election is over. Savaya says, I believe that today is official that someone got reinfected with a new type of COVID in Hong Kong. Oh no. Oh no. Hey, what's up, PDTN? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. Is it called COVID-20? This is from July. This is an old article. I don't know. Journey AI says, didn't Russia announce a vaccine? Maybe. I didn't hear anything about that. Eden says, the cases where they get it more than once seem to be incorrect. It's possible. It's possible. Joaquin says, well, we can always hope for a vaccine, though. Yeah, assuming, well, a vaccine would probably give us partial immunity, which would be good. Ignorance says the 1918 flu never went away. We still die from it to this day, and I think it's just considered a normal flu now. Look for the news. Wait for it. Okay, yeah. Send me that link. Okay, this should be done now. All right, we should be able to run this again. But it should crash for a different reason. Error checking path, permission denied. Yeah. So the problem here is we need to be able to make this path accessible to the other user, and I don't know how to do that. I think, is it OS set group? What does set group do? Oh, this is the Python 2 ones. Go away. Set groups. Sets the list of supplemental group IDs associated with the current process to groups. Typically only available to the super user. How do you create a directory owned by another group? Create directory owned by specific group. You can always do this. Nope, I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that either. No, we're not changing permissions. Set GID. Yeah, that's what I thought. You can set the set GID on directories to have all files created inherit their group permissions. I'm not sure that's it either. Hey, what's up, In Blanky and Pripazina? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. There's install. Can you guys hear the air conditioner? I'm gonna switch to what is it called? RTX voice. That's what it's called. And we sound alright now? Anyway, hopefully that filtered out the stuff in the background. Roller says the common cold are also coronaviruses. That is one reason why COVID may be here to stay. Yeah. Joaquin says, also I'm watching the COVID situation in the US from France, and I'm certainly happy to be on this side. Yeah. Yo. US's coronavirus is a fucking mess. Adrianax says, anti-vaxxer enters the chat. This is the link. Hey, what's up, GarPM? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Or is it GrapM? Man in Hong Kong tests positive for a different strain of coronavirus 4 months after receiving first infection. Huh. Yikes. Oh god, fuck off. Don't hear the AC? Well, now we definitely don't hear it because it would be filtered out, but it's making a really obnoxious rattling noise. So... was fine before RTX voice? Okay, well... I guess I've done nothing then. You can set the set GID on directories to have all files created within that inherit their group membership. So I guess what I would want to do... Let me see if I can add my user to that other group's PC runner. PC runner is what? Part of the PC runner group? And user to group. Oh. Is it group add or something like that? User mod -a -G. sudo user mod -a -G PC runner ace tilly. Groups ace tilly. Okay, so we now have the PC runner group. It's the thought that counts, right? Shy Ryan says code is fake like global warming, vaccines, and around Earth. Hey, what's up, Wicked Stalker? Hello, hello. Welcome. GID takes no arguments. How do I get this group ID? I want set GID. GID should be an integer. Python get group ID from name. GRP. Get group. Get GID. Operation not permitted. Okay, so that's not how this works. Get FACL. Get file access control list. I guess the other way I could do this is I could create the directories using the other user and then control them with this user, maybe? Wicked Stalker says, what are you coding, mate? I am working on a... you can look at Bang Project to see what I'm working on. But I am building a startup-y thing that is based around a Git hooks and linter code formatter framework called pre-commit. I'm building a CI system for GitHub and other stuff that will use that tool. And I'm working on some of the, like... What I'm trying to do is I have one process, or one user in one process, and it spins up a container using another process. And I need to write into the directories here using the privileged user, and yeah, have this container reference those files. So they need to be writable by both users, but owned by the other user. Margaret says you could adjust the ACLs with set FACL. Yeah, I think I could also do it with chmod though. How am I gonna do this? Actually, what does ch group do? Or man, ch own. How does ch own do this? chown with a UID and a GID. Change the owner and group ID of the path to that to leave one of its IDs and change set to -1. So in theory, make der what? Operation not permitted on WAT. I'm a member of this group. Oh, do I need to log out and log back in to make that work? Do I need to reboot? Is that how that works? Margaret says you could just adjust the access control list with set FACL. Check the link. Okay. Set all current future directories in parent directory to 755 with the specified group/owner. Yeah, I think this is the same thing as the set GID bit thing. But I don't want to do this as root is the problem. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't need the super. I don't want to use the super user. That's the actual thing that I'm avoiding here. I'm trying to do this all with limited permissions. Because as soon as I allow something to use root, like all bets are off. And a powerful command like set FACL is problematic to my goals here. Vulcan on Wheels says, "Did you say 755? I read 775. Either way, I might have said 755. Either way, it doesn't actually matter. It's not relevant to my problem." But the thing is, like, if we have a directory, and this directory has this ownership, this is still going to be as this user, so that's not what we want here. But this should. Oh, this can't even. Huh. Even though it's owned by this group, I can't modify it? Okay, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of research on this. I'm not really sure how this is supposed to work. You're probably right with FACL. You're probably right there. But I'll need to look into more about how I can do that in a safe manner, because I thought I could just set the group here like this and do it this way, but I guess I'm not right. EasyLight says you just have read access. Oh, that's true. That's true. G plus W. Oh, it should be dot. Oh, okay. That's what I need, EasyLight. Yes, okay, so this will work. But I still don't know how to change the group ID of the directory. Marco Dev, what's going on? You're yelling at me. I don't know what you want me to do. But thank you for the tip there, EasyLight. Hey, what's up, Fox McB or MCB? Hello, welcome to the stream. EasyLight says, so what do you want to do? This is gonna simulate what I want to do. Make dir D. So we have several directories here. We have input, output, and PC. And I want these to be writable by the PC runner user. So I need to chmod plus G, or G plus W, those three directories. And then I need to change the group of these to be the PC runner user. So I want to do chown user and then the group to input, output, and PC. But I don't have permission to do this, so I gotta figure out how to make that happen. J. Pratt says, dude, relax. Fox MCB says, it's big brain time. I only started learning Python yesterday. Ooh. Vulcan on Wheels says, sudo? Yeah, I know, I can use sudo. But I don't want to use sudo because that means that the user that has access to sudo must be privileged. And I don't want that. Because as soon as that user has sudo, then all bets are off in running arbitrary code. I've lost my ability to sandbox this code. Which is strange. I see. I guess the other way that I could do this is make the temporary user create these in a way. You could give the user access to chown as the only sudo command. Yeah, the problem is if somebody can use chown, they can just sudo chown and add that set UID bit to anything, and then suddenly they have the whole machine. So that doesn't really work. Yeah. Use ch group on a directory. Yeah, but I need to be root to do that. So is it possible to change the ownership of a file without root access? Yeah, this is exactly the question that I'm asking. No, you cannot. The thing is, though, I can use the other user to create these directories, so... yeah. But anyway, I'm actually very hungry, so I'm gonna eat lunch. I don't mean to, like, rage quit the stream, but at the same time, I need to do a little bit more research on this. You guys have pointed me in the right direction. Thank you, EasyLight, for showing me that. And it looks like I can't do this without the right permissions, so I'm gonna need to figure out a different way to create these directories. And I think I can, you know, find a way to do these in a privileged manner, but or in an unprivileged manner. But I'll need to do some more research into this. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the stream, and then we'll find someone to raid. If you guys have raid suggestions, leave them in the chat. But anyway, my name is Anthony. I uploaded my previous streams to YouTube if you want to check those out, and that's youtube.com/AnthonyWritesCode. You can also check out educational content, which are these purple videos that I'll hopefully be updating, you know, once a day for the next week or so. We have a user called pre-commit in chat. Account created 2 minutes ago. Oh wait, is this other Hayden coming back from the dead? Is this other Hayden? But yes, I did create pre-commit, the GitHooks framework. But yeah, I stream on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. I announce my streams in 2 places. One of them is on Twitter, where I basically say I'm gonna stream in this amount of time, and I also announce them on Discord, YouTube, Discord, Twitter. You guys can join any of those or follow those or whatever you need to do. You need some food in order to figure out. It's true. It's true. I get hang grumpy sometimes. Pre-commit says, "Whoa, thank you so much." Who are you, dude? Are you what's in my OPSEC? Are you ban evading here? Is that what you're doing? I don't even. And I deleted your messages, so I can't even see what they look like. Do some basic text analysis here. There's some here, right? Anyway, not important. But MarketF says, "Will this work?" Add ACL permissions without allowing other groups to access a directory. Maybe. I will check this out after the stream. Hey, what's up, Teddy McW? Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. But anyway, that's me. Let's go raid somebody.